Medical units stand by. 30 seconds to contact. 20 seconds. 15. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
We got him. Let's go.
Hello, welcome, art aficionados and comic book connoisseurs.
I'm gonna play this clip now.
Hello, my niggas. Gather close. Want to hear the tale of Sir Floyd the Breathless? Then sit back and listen well. The signs were clear when he did rob pregnant women by night. Verily, my noble nigger, relinquish unto me all thy worldly possessions this instant. And so it began, when Sir Floyd sought to pay with false coins. And this did not sit well with the shopkeeper.
How dare they pay with false coins in my shop? I shall call the guards!
And the hunt for Sir Floyd had begun. And the news of this enraged the king.
Capture Sir Floyd without delay.
The king commanded with resolve. But due to too many fentanyl potions, he failed to defeat the guard. In the end, it was not the guards who defeated him, but his own breath.
And we're cancelled.
In remembrance of Sir Floyd the Breathless.
So I want to remind everyone that we're back on Zapstream tonight. Just pushed it out on so we cannot get cancelled on Zapstream. Got 2 viewers right now on there. So thank you for coming on. So be sure to, don't be a lurker, say hi, zap us if you can. And yeah, on with the show. We got guest Tank Ferret will be joining us tonight. He's got the link, so we'll just wait for him to pop in. Kage's regular, Nikolai. Nikolai is one of your players, right? He's the first time I see him in the chat here.
Yeah, he's the one who's helping us win, the contest.
Yeah,
win everything.
Learn not to ask questions in these cases, because you always get the answers.
That's right. Anyways.
Let me introduce my co-host here. We got
A man that I call Bob.
How you been?
Feeling good, actually. Not bad.
Don't worry, it'll pass.
Listen, you don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. You don't put that evil on me. Anyways.
Yes.
Frequency.
Yeah, well, oh, yeah, I've got an intro for frequency as well. Here we go.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
You want to see? I can kill your viewership, Frederic. All I got to do is get Gina on here and we talk about Star Trek again.
Yeah, that's you guys are deep into the lore. I mean, I was a Star Trek fan growing up, or viewer at the very least. Like, I didn't go deep into it. It was always Star Wars for me. Like, I always thought Star Wars were cooler. Ships look, beat up. They look real. It looked gritty. I was a Star Wars guy, but when it was on, Star Trek it was good. Enjoyed it.
You disgust me.
Well, especially now with the state of Star Wars now. I mean, although Star Trek has gotten pretty bad.
Funny enough, I didn't get into Star Trek in like 2019, 2020. I think 2019.
So what'd you start with? Did you ever watch the originals?
I've seen episodes of the original. I've never fully watched it through.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has fully watched it through. You kind of, back in my day, you'd catch the reruns. They were never in any particular order. And then I guess when they came out with the DVDs, that was the first time people could start watching it in order, I guess. But I don't think
TNG is the one I originally started with.
Yeah. That one's got a little bit more sequence.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I specifically started in the episodes where Worf is on trial. And he ends up like finding out that like it was the other person, not him. So he had to like take the blame for it. And they dishonor him and shit.
I'm just having a flashback to where you asked me if you wanted to kill the stream by talking about Star Trek, and here we are.
That's right. Listen, I get what I want,
I mean, I can be hooked in pretty well to Star Trek, but I can't go as deep as you guys. I think you guys are much geekier into the Trekkie things.
I just love DS9, so I can really talk about DS9, and I really fucking know DS9.
I liked it. I liked that it was different, especially coming out of frickin' Next Generation. It eventually got old.
Well, the TNG people, a lot of them really despise DS9, which is funny.
Really? I didn't know this.
DS9 is better. Anyways, what are you working on?
Well, I got two things on my plate tonight. I'm hovering over page 17 of Rattel, which you see here, and I've got a character, namely one of Patrick Quinlan's characters, called the Blue Rose.
The blue titties, I get you.
Yes. Well, they were drawn in blue at first.
Well, first of all, Patrick's a little gay. He wanted you to make her more lady boyish, so you reduced the tit size,
Yeah, I mean, people say it's for realism and shit, but I don't know.
Nikolai loves Stargate, which is funny, Nikolai. You should actually talk to James, who's not on here tonight, which is sad, because he loves Stargate as well.
Do I have to send them the StreamYard link?
Does he? He's in our thing, isn't
he? I think so. But James likes it when I send it directly.
Yeah, but let me check.
With a bow. But he might be offline, because I know he had his show right before ours, so can't always make it.
Yeah, but it might also be where he's not actually in the thing where we post the link. No, never mind, he is. You're good. He's just gay, Very gay.
Everyone that hangs out with you seems to be gay for some reason.
Yeah, that's a weird coincidence, Frederic.
Yay!
So anyways.
Yeah, I got these two pieces I'll be working on tonight. Sort of finishing up page 17. And then, there's like 6 pages after this one. It's so close.
That's the Ling page. I got you.
So close to the end.
See, that's why that's when you drew the Asian lady, and now you use your other page for reference for the Asian lady you're drawing right now.
No, she's Russian, and they're both Russian.
Those are both Asian. Holy fuck!
What he's talking about. After all, he is a jiggle physician.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen. Look, she's got the Russian. She's a commie. She's a commie.
Are you
Russian.
saying in a Jap can't be a commie as well?
The Japs are not commies. What are you talking
I don't know about that.
Actually, that chick, I think she's Spanish.
Dude, the blur is all. Come on,
you're
camera.
fucking it up.
There
Frederic.
you go.
You're fucking it up.
I know.
Already. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame.
Let me message our guests and ping him real quick.
The what?
Just messaging our guests here.
Calling him a loser for not showing up, yeah.
Not yet.
You gotta bully him.
Yeah, he's got his own stream in the morning. Well, mostly in the mornings. And he does like a first hour is video game, like kind of intro. Then second hour, like he'll do an art stream and he'll pop the StreamYard link in the chat so people could join up. Do like a call-in show kind of a thing. Yeah, we should do that sometime. Like just drop the StreamYard link in the chat and let people come on.
It would be an honor to be streaming Baldur's Gate 3 soon.
Oh, really?
Because crossplay is now added.
What is that crossplay?
Oh, we can play on Xbox and PlayStation and PC can all play.
Cross-platform?
On multiplayer.
Oh, okay. So you're all going to be doing like a one shared games? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, me and him are going to be doing
and streaming that. Cool.
Playing the game together.
Cool.
On, I guess whatever the honor mode, the highest difficulty. Because if not, the game's super fucking easy.
Oh, that sucks. Games used to be like impossible to do. They're almost impossible to fail at now.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about like when the arcade games, they were designed to be incredibly bullshitty to keep putting coins in.
No, I'm talking like Nintendo when it first got to home, but it's not for the coins, but because the games were smaller, like you couldn't put that much content on a card. So by making it harder, the idea was that you spend more time playing at it.
Yeah, but that was already a business practice with the arcades.
Yes.
Because if you made it harder, first of all, the game is not as long as you think it is. You really stretch it out on the fucking machine.
Mm-hmm.
And you make it keep dropping those coins.
Well, they still make them difficult today, though.
Not really. Most games you play, unless you're like fucking mentally retarded, it's not the hardest games ever. And the games that are quote unquote hard aren't actually hard. It's that they done really lazy ways to make it difficult, which is just increasing the enemy health and then decreasing your damage done to them. Not that difficult.
No, a lot of journalists actually called Metroid Dread difficult. I thought that one was easy.
Yeah, you want me to pull up something?
But Nine Souls legitimately kicked my butt. And it's not just by upping the enemy health, because it's one of those, you learn the patterns and it usually stays pretty fair. It's like once you got the controls down, if you get hit, it's your fault. That kind of thing.
Is that the game that was inspired by Berserk? Is Nine Souls the one that was inspired by?
No.
No,
it's inspired by Chinese mythology, but it was done by a Taiwanese studio.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'm gonna pull up this clip.
I think I sent you a video clip of the fight with Lady Ethereal, and you were commenting on the artwork for that one.
Oh, okay.
Little cat samurai guy. It's like sci-fi and mysticism blended. They call it cowpunk.
Cowpunk?
Cowpunk.
That sounds
Like
wrong.
PAO or is their take on cyberpunk kind of.
Yeah. But the cow in front of the punk kind of gives me different.
Yeah, TAO, I think it's spelled for Tau.
Oh, Tau. Okay, I thought you said cow.
No, Tau.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, that changes
Frequency,
everything.
when you're talking about most journalists, just remember this with Cuphead.
Why isn't he jumping off the other
Keep in mind,
block?
this was a journalist.
Wow.
By the way, this is the very beginning of the game. This is like the tutorial.
It says dash right there. Jump, dash. Do it.
So I'm just saying,
Hey, Christy.
just keep in mind with like 99% of journalists cannot play games.
Yeah.
They're
but
actually the worst people to ever listen to about video games because they want it uber fucking easy. They're the
Right.
reason why we have a
Hail, Christina. Welcome.
story difficulty in games. Those people.
Maybe the journalist
Well-
can't read. Have you thought about that? Maybe he's.
A lot of them called Metroid Dread hard. I called it easy, and I'm getting my butt kicked by Nine Souls, so I can tell you firsthand, Nine Souls is hard.
Yeah, but it's an indie game, correct?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anybody play Ghouls and Ghosts on Super Nintendo?
Ghouls and Ghosts. No, I had the
that,
Genesis.
That one's a straight up ball buster.
Yeah.
You're making Frederic age more the more you ask him these old person questions, you know?
Listen, I'm timeless.
Now repeat after me. I don't get older, I get better.
It's like a fine wine, you know?
Yeah, but it's like fine wine that someone's
And,
farted in. Like Captain
and
Lake
as we
farted.
get older, the delusions become better.
Well, yeah. You start believing you stop believing everybody's lies when you get older. You start.
Yeah, you
okay.
start believing your own.
You're like, these people are way more full of shit than I gave them credit for.
I'm surprised Readout last night forgot about the 3DS. He's like, in 2 decades, I haven't really seen Nintendo make anything big. And I'm like, I don't know, the 3DS?
Yeah, that one was.
Thing that like sold,
That was huge, right?
I think it's one of the highest selling
Yeah.
consoles.
Kids love that one. You youngins.
I never had one.
No, our generation never had a 3DS.
I did have the
'Cause
Game
they're
Boy
so small.
Advance.
Right?
I
They're
love the Game Boy Advance. It was like a Super Nintendo in my pocket.
Well, I still have my Game Boy Advanced. I didn't have a 3DS either, but like my cousin, all 3 of my cousins had their own 3DS.
I don't have any of my old consoles, unfortunately.
Yeah. I had the Genesis back this summer, but like it wasn't it's not in working condition.
And funny enough, the
I'm too
Wii
busy
was
to fiddle around
also
with it.
a super high selling console as well. It's right up there.
Yeah, that one I did have.
That one didn't
Everyone
attract
had
me
a
at all.
Wii.
That's the one with the handle and shit. And
The motion controls, yeah.
yeah,
It's the one with
Otter and
the
I were talking
stick.
about that last night with the Metroid Prime 3 game, where that game was made for motion controls. It just works so well.
Christina asks if you're playing in your pocket.
No. I lost my Super Nintendo or my Game Boy Advance, so no.
Haha, still got mine.
Did you ever know anyone who had a Tamagotchi? Wrangler?
No.
Oh man, that was something else. That was like a little portable device. It was the one game system, like it's just a small cheap circuit. and you'd have to keep
I
your
remember everybody had gigapets.
yeah, you'd have like a little pet that you'd have to keep alive and feed it and train it and spend time with it.
Holy
That
shit.
sounds like a chore.
Kids did that during school because if you went to school and you didn't feed and train your puppy would die. So they would get traumatized and like be in class and having to feed their puppy, and it took over for some people, for some kids, it took over their lives for a little bit.
And it went from trying to feed their puppy to trying to catch a little critter in a Pokeball.
Yeah, dude, the huge Pokemon like Pokemon Go it was called.
Yep.
And everyone went out like zombies into the streets catching Pokemon.
Yeah, and I remember there was a meme going around. It was this big old pileup of cars on the highway, and it said, "Everybody get ready for Mario Kart Go."
I'm gonna ink the windows here and draw a focus to the screen.
Focus to the screen.
Yes, of course. That's always the first thing on my mind. You know me.
What kind of accent is that? The lady that was explaining how to draw focus.
That sounds French. Like French.
Like the European French?
Yeah.
I thought you knew who she was.
No.
So you just found a random lady.
Yeah, I was searching for Mignola, like watching videos on Mignola's art stuff, and then I found her. And then when I listened to the whole video, she's mesmerizing. She's knows what she's talking about. And then I get to that point and I'm like, oh no, do I clip it? It's like I couldn't resist it. It was so cute.
You know what I want to happen on stream, Frederic? This.
Yeah.
I only got to use that clip.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I need to go get my gun license.
In Canada?
Yeah. It's
Are you
gonna
even
be
allowed to own handguns?
Yeah, but it's like the bureaucratic hurdle is gargantuan.
I have to wonder if it's like the New Jersey law where you can only have like 2 bullets in your clip.
That's
Oh, you guys are allowed to have clips?
Yeah. Oh, you're not allowed to have it.
I'm just kidding. But
You're allowed to have bullets?
Yeah, I haven't heard about that. But they're super restrictive with anything that's small, like pistols, handguns, things like that. Like it's easier to carry around your hunting rifle. Like if you have it in your trunk, that is like they're much more looser on that than the handguns. The handguns are severely controlled, and you get like a daily police check on your file whenever you're an owner of a handgun.
Man, sounds like New York.
Yeah, I mean Canada is kind of like your blue states, right? It's very, dude. I went to get my hair cut today, and the lady who cut my hair, she's very nice, but she's like, oh yeah, don't worry about because I paid in American dollars, so she was talking about America, and like, oh, don't worry, like Americans don't all think that way, and she's assuming that I'm a hardcore lefty because everyone here is a hardcore lefty.
Wait, she's an American?
No, but she's like defending Americans that are on the blue side of the election, right? So, absolutely insane.
Wait, so she's defending people that she's not even of?
Yeah, because she's basically it's just a way to bring Orange Man bad into the conversation, basically.
Man, you should have just went along with it really well. Said, yeah, fuck Trump. Yeah, fuck yeah. She may have gave you the haircut for free.
Yeah, well, no, but no, it was a good haircut. I'm happy with it. You know, as a streamer who films only his drawings.
Or does she think you are an American?
No, it's because I was paying in American money because I had money left over from Nashville, right? No, it wasn't from Nashville. It was from had some cash left over from El Salvador. Dude, the El Salvador president just had a meeting with Trump yesterday. Did you catch that?
I heard something, but I didn't really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
You gonna tell us?
Tell you what. What was the question?
You brought it up, the El Salvador.
Oh, about that. That was It's all online. It's funny to look at because you got the American journalists who are basically getting laughed at by Trump, by Bukele, the El Salvador's president, and Vance. Like everyone's mocking the journalists at this point because they're like, they asked Bukele, is he gonna bring back like the terrorists, basically, right? Like, 'cause they're still fixated on that. Got to bring back those people that were sent over there. And he's like, what? Did you want me to smuggle him here today? Like, did you think I brought him on my plane?
Who, Trump?
No, Bukele. Because they asked the president of El Salvador if he had brought back because the lefties are still like fixated on bringing back those terrorists that were deported, Hey, Patrick, man, how's it going?
Wait, I'm getting confused. Are you saying the
context for that is
they were wanting him to send back the citizens that we sent them, right?
Yeah, here's what happened.
Yeah, the
it was all
journalists.
revolved around one particular dude, actually. There was a guy who was in MS-13. He's El Salvadoran. I think he killed a cop while in El Salvador, fled to America, was here illegally. In the time he was here, he got married, had a kid, and then he was getting deported because, recently he got picked up and they were going to deport him back to his home country. Some judge tried to have that deportation stayed. He tried to tell Trump you're not allowed to send him back. And he got sent back anyway. El Salvador took him and they put him in jail on a supermax because he done killed someone. And now, because the judge was saying, no, you need to bring him back, telling Trump, nope, you need to bring him back. And he's an El Salvadoran citizen who got sent back to El Salvador because he was here illegally. They put him in jail, and now they're demanding that Trump go to El Salvadoran president and tell him, give him back to us so he could just live a normal life like nothing happened.
You know what this also reminds me of?
Welcome, Otter.
That Pakistani dude who in Pakistan? I forgot exactly which Middle Eastern country he's from. Anyways, he ended up coming over here. He was a refugee from there a long time ago. And he's like a full-on leftist extremist. And he was like promoting Hassan and stuff during the recent conflict. And he was like pro-Palestine, right? So Trump and them went, hold up. You ain't supposed to be promoting terrorism. And he was also doing like the holding the college rooms hostage and shit like that stuff. So they picked his ass up, deported him. They didn't give a fuck, man.
Yeah, so we're in the White House and a journalist asks, so are you bringing him back? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, do you expect me to like smuggle him back in my airplane?
Yeah,
So I'm
the
assuming
El
things
Salvadoran
went
president
well
told the
between-
journalist that he's not going to smuggle a terrorist back in the United States. It's not happening. And then they asked him, well, can't you at least let him out of prison? He goes, I don't want him on the streets in my country.
And he had a good way of putting it too, like, because he says, people say I jailed thousands of people. I say I liberated millions, because the whole streets, everyone was living in fear in El Salvador with the gangs were running everything.
I think they were calling it the murder capital of the world for a while. And that's what he cleaned up.
Yeah, exactly. So, because when I was telling people I was going on a trip there, they would go, are you sure? You're gonna die. It's deadly. It's like, no, that was before. It's actually super safe to walk the streets at night now. It's like night and day.
What I don't understand is why does the media and a judge want him back here so badly?
Because they can use him as a political statement. He's a brown man that was deported by Trump. That's literally it. Keep in mind, you have journalists going to bat for the fucking cartel. You know, the one that runs sex trafficking rings.
It's like, oh yeah,
Peddling
they're just
children,
like
drug-
smelling like fentanyl. It's like human trafficking and shit. You know things are bad for journalists whenever they're defending literal fucking slavers.
I think they're taking if it bleeds, it leads to ridiculous proportions now.
And why? Because they're brown and they're Trump is against them, so we have to be for them. That's their fucking retarded ass mentality.
I think you put the nail on it. Like, it's Trump is for this. Trump is for human decency, so we have to get rid of that now.
Yep.
I like the
logic.
Babylon B headline that Tim Pool loves to quote all the time. It says Trump ingenious maneuver is for impeachment, opposing Democrats to oppose.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's what it was. Trump comes out in favor of his own impeachment, forcing Democrats to oppose.
Amazing.
It's believable.
But our country is blessed to have the extraordinary talent, energy, and genius represented in this room. It really is great genius. Not all of you, but most of you. Many of you.
Telling it like it is, you know. They've got all of you.
Now I want to see that opening to Lord of the Rings movie with Trump playing Bilbo, where he's sitting there saying, "And I like about half of you. I like about half of you, half as less as I should," or something like that. Where it was.
I like less than half of you, half as well as you deserve.
Oh yeah, that's it.
It's so clever. I love that quote so much.
Yeah, you got to think about it.
I would love to hear Trump make that speech. Just quoting Bilbo.
I mean, with AI, you're going to see everything now.
Yeah.
It's getting real close to, hey, I want to watch my favorite movie, but change the actress. I don't like this actor. Put this actor instead, and change this soundtrack. Give you a more metal soundtrack. Your film will be ready in 5 minutes.
I just enjoy using AI for asking the dumb questions like, what would happen to Sauron if he got caught in the middle of Peter Griffin and the giant chicken? You know? And it actually spills out a scenario.
It's a new toy.
It really is. Oh, but it was very useful today. I was using that for trying to research things like, hey, how far would this place be from that place? And, you know, when I'm trying to come up with a whole backstory set in the Amazon jungle in the 1500s and information is difficult to find, punch it into Grok and it'll find stuff.
Yeah, the one thing's been getting me, like, there's so much AI now on my X feed. Like, people are making memes with AI, and it's like taken over, and I'm almost getting AI sickness now.
You want to know what's funny about it? Even like the biggest advocates against AI are using AI for memes.
Yeah,
that tells you how ubiquitous AI has gotten in such a short amount of time.
And I still say it's not really AI. It's spell check on steroids. It's a flowchart.
Well, I think it comes down to more Grok being an actual good AI model, so a lot of people are naturally going to use it.
Yeah. That whole Ghibli movement craze.
Oh God, don't remind me about it.
I'm using it a lot, but I mean, I don't consider it an actual AI. It's more of a natural language UI.
But we're not talking about a language anymore. We're talking about art. We're talking about photos. We're talking about, it's manipulating video. It's gotten pretty good. Like somebody just made a side-to-side comparison with one of the first AI videos that they made was like Will Smith eating spaghetti. Remember that one?
No.
Oh, I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can find it. So that was one of the first AI videos that kind of put out there, and is really bad AI, right? Like Will Smith would melt into himself, and another Will Smith would come off the back of his head. You know, the typical. Let me just give you, because we have a.
Sounds like a bad acid trip.
Yeah, exactly. But they did one recently where they asked the same prompt, but now it's good. Now it's getting better at it. So
it's only taken a small amount of time for it to get there too.
Yeah.
Like I knew that was going to be the case because AI, it's like takes much less work than a lot of other pursuits. So
Have a
it's
great
going
night,
to be
Nikolai.
rapid development.
Here's like some AI that some people in China made recently.
What was that?
Chinese people. Frequency. Chinese people.
Art imitating life, or life imitating art?
Oh, you know what the dumbest thing I saw was on Reddit, of course. They were
Something
like, "Oh,
dumb
God,
on Reddit.
China's
Gee, I never would have thought.
China's sharing Chinese propaganda AI memes to America," and it was like a bunch of fat people in a
Good
sweatshop.
night, Nikolai. Thanks
Oh,
for,
I saw that.
thanks
And the
for stopping
leftists
by.
were like, "Ha ha ha! Look, it's so funny," and I'm like, "Okay."
Now that Nikolai's gone, I'm adding like a ton of quotes he gave me the other day for whenever Cyanistra heals you guys.
But all the leftists
With a
in there,
fentanyl potion?
Obviously.
all the leftists in there were hilarious as shit because they were defending China. And I'm like, this is the country that uses slave labor, child workers.
It's just, I don't understand them at all.
Don't apply common sense to it. It's not going to work.
Oh, Otter, what did you think of that table I made?
Yeah, it was really good. It's a very chaotic table. That's one thing I found out. It's rarely good things happen on that table.
Uh-oh.
It's not supposed to be good things.
I thought you
well,
said there's some
doing
good
its job,
things and
then.
some bad things.
There is a grand total of 4 good things, 3 neutral, or 2 neutral. 4 of them are a otherworldly merchant can show up. 2 of them are they're merchants as well, but it can go very wrong. And then there's a werewolf on there. I hope you never roll on that one.
All right.
Silver bullets, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but the werewolf can fuck you up real good. And it can get infect you with lycanthropy.
Would that be cores? Or was that bush? No, those cores, the silver bullet.
Here's the thing, Otter. There was rhyme and reason on it. I had certain numbers that were repeating different.
I also noticed a surprising amount of lust-themed ones.
Well, there was only 2.
I saw more than that, dude.
Nah, there was 2.
2 that's
well, hold up.
lust. There's
2
like
of them were
brothels,
actually
there's
directly.
succubi,
Okay, listen. Some of them.
there's
were succubi.
harlots.
All right, well, I still would consider that lust. There's 2 of them that are actual lust ones.
Okay, one of these quotes Nikolai gave me to add as a random quote that happens whenever he heals you all is, "Do not go gently into that good bathhouse." Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I mean,
that sounds like her.
Otter, you're going to have fun reading during the daytime list when I get that done.
Okay.
I'm going to start on it probably tomorrow. But I'll have a daytime one. That was a lot to get through. It was 100 ones I had to make up.
I know, like, making tables, it's like, it's fun, but it's it's a lot of work too. That's the thing.
Takes time, yeah.
That's the dichotomy of making tables, because it is work, but it can be really fun.
Also, Otter, I am going to have food rations. I am going to rule really heavily on that. Just letting you know. That's why
Okay.
a lot of them were depending on food, your food rations and what can happen to them.
Yeah, I did notice that there were several where it was talking about food rations. One of them was like getting specks of shit like on your food rations or something like that.
Well, it's called I think it was ration of turd mouth. I called it or something.
No, it was like ration of turd tongue.
Yeah, turd tongue. So pretty much, if y'all don't investigate it, and it's like I said, I'm gonna have you actually choose out of your rations how much you got. And I'm gonna let you know. It could be a normal ration. It could be one of those fucking things if I roll on that at the nighttime.
Yeah.
It's in your thing. And that one I think gives like a -1 to charisma checks. And it lasts for 1d6 minus 2 days.
Wait, I thought this was a cowboy game.
It is a cowboy one.
It is, but it's more like Weird West.
Told you it's horror.
Are there giant mechanical spiders?
There is spiders on one of the lists that you can roll.
Are they mechanical and giant?
There is a robot as well. Like a 1950s style robot. I just threw that in there. I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll put it in. Why not? I'm gonna have to see how the exhaustion rules. If not, I'm gonna do it myself.
I don't. Here's the thing: if you're using Amazing Adventures or Castles and Crusades, I was like looking over the books. I didn't see any exhaustion rules, which actually surprised me. But that said, you could house rule that really easily, like really easily.
I think I'm gonna
Amazing Adventure.
the way I think I'm gonna do it is, it might be 6 to 8 levels of exhaustion, right? If you get to 8, you're fucking probably gonna die.
Oh yeah, like in fact, I would even say 8 is a little too forgiving.
I mean, I can go 6. I don't want to go too low.
Right. Well, I think even in 5e, there's like 6 levels of exhaustion. You reach exhaustion level 6, you're dead.
But I am gonna have like actual things that will happen depending on your
Hold
exhaustion.
on, I'm trying to add James, but I can't add him. Like
He's in here. Or he's not in here. Nope, he's in here. No, you just didn't add. Frederic. Alright.
What?
That's why we're keeping this one.
Hail, friends.
Whatever thing you layout you set, you only had it set for 3, or technically 4 cameras.
Oh, must have been the default StreamYards thing.
No, that was actually you. That wasn't StreamYards that time.
Hail, James. How's it going, friend?
It's going. I got my beverages. I am currently partying, as the lawyers do in the evening.
As you do.
And what am I interrupting?
Yeah, the only like guaranteed combat ones are every 5. So if you roll a 5, 10, 15 up.
Oh, okay. So that means there's a 1 and... Oh my god, I'm trying to do math here. That's a 20% chance of there being a guaranteed combat encounter.
Mm-hmm.
So are you using like an online dice roller?
Nope.
Literally, he made his own table.
I have my own table, and I literally just roll a D100, whatever it lands on. I know what.
Yeah.
You have a big D100 ball that takes forever to stop rolling?
Well, it's digital, so you don't take that.
That's why I'm asking. Like, you have a digital, so it's like software, or?
Yeah, the Row 20.
Okay.
The Row 20 is what we're going to be using, so it won't take long for the 100 roll.
Gotcha.
It's just, it depends on when it lands. Well, that's what we're going with.
Yeah. Sounds like a nightmare.
And then next, I need to... Probably going to have to go through the weapons and stuff and have a list of weapons. Because I'm going to take all store items that I know of, Otter, and I'm going to go ahead and actually convert that to how much they cost.
Oh, nice.
In the cash money. I can do a separate list. All I'd have to do is go through.
Yeah.
A lot of the items.
Even then, like, a lot of it you can easily convert. Like the foundation is already there. Even if you have to do a little bit of work, it's easy enough to make those conversions.
And that reminds me, Frederic. Just letting you know, there is chances of PvP in this.
PvP.
I do have some things on the table that if y'all do really bad rolls on it, you will have to attack another player.
Oh, player versus player. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I have like maybe
not
3 or
unheard
4 of
of.
them on there. That's like that.
It happens in games. Here's the thing. I'm actually a little miffed now how the current philosophy with DMing is you cannot have PvP unless it's agreed upon at the very beginning of the game. I'm like, it's like it has to be like the objective, quote unquote, of the campaign for it to be PvP.
Sounds like asking your date for a consent form, you know?
yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. I'm like, it's like, if there's going to be PvP in your game, like my opinion, it just kind of has to happen naturally. 2 players want to fight each other, let them fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fine with normal PvP, but there is, I mean, Otter, you saw there is like 3 or 4, and it's not to the death either. Let me make that very clear. I had like, specifically how many rounds you have to roll for it. There's a couple of also role-playing ones.
Right. That was the one thing I was looking for. I was about to message that to you if you didn't have them, was that a lot of tables, like even if it's just for monsters, every here and there, they'll have one where it's basically just kind of like aesthetic. It's like, oh, you hear a song on the wind, or you come across like a copse of trees with a treasure chest or something like that.
Lame.
Well, it's meant to be kind of like contrast because most of the other entries are, oh, 5d8 zombies, 3d4 kobolds.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, 1 adult red dragon. It's like, oh yeah, I think I'd rather take the
odor of flowers in the air.
Yeah, that's I think I've actually seen an entry like that before.
I do have some that are I have a couple that are just mainly like exhaustion ones, but they're mainly just role-playing ones. I think I have one that's like a thunderstorm.
Also, I'm lazy as shit when it comes to my random tables. I use one little booklet for most of my like random encounter rolls. It's called Encounter Tables and Monster Index, and a lot of it's just based on level, and it has a number of stats, kind of like on different tables. Fun thing is, it's CNC is kind of a robust enough system where it gives you like the monster alignment, so you're not guaranteed to fight them. In fact, kind of like the reaction roll is sort of like encouraged, where it's like they could fight you, they could be doubtful, or they could even be friendly. It just depends.
So you had mentioned earlier, like there's another version of this of CNC called Amazing Adventures. Is that it?
Yeah, and that's what Billy's wanting to use for this Western game.
So how do I can't search it on Google because everything's called Amazing Adventures. Like, what's the keyword to get me to find that online?
Look for, so whenever you search for it, type in Troll Lord Games right after it. That'll take you right to where it is.
Gotcha. Got it. Sweet. So is this like an open source kind of a rule set, or
not? So it's not strictly open source. It's more kind of like you can, to my knowledge, you can add on to it and like make your own third-party content, like no problem, because the game is sort of designed from the ground up. CNC is more kind of like mimicking old school D&D, but it's built from the ground up to be very modular. Amazing Adventures is taking that base and applying it to pretty much any setting you want and keeping it that modularity there. So you can easily like plug and play different things that you want. That's the nice thing.
The thing I need to look up is guns and stuff in the combat with that.
Yeah.
I want to keep it, like I said, more CNC if I can. I don't want to do Savage Worlds. I'm not doing Savage Worlds combat.
The big difference, in my opinion, is the fact that you actually have hit points this time around.
True, but I don't want to do how the combat was, if I remember correctly. Is that how the combat is in that one?
No. Are you talking about like the bicycle cards?
No, what was it? You roll on a thing the maximum, then roll again and roll again.
Oh no, that's not a thing in Amazing Adventures.
I'm just wanting simpler Castle and Crusade. Here's your fucking bonuses.
Like, to my knowledge, the whole system is basically just, hey, you like Castles and Crusades, don't you? Here's one you can apply to any setting that's not specific to, like, D&D style.
Yeah, because, like, there's going to be, like, firefights and, you know, shootouts and things that need to get resolved.
Here's the thing. C&C has that on its own, but it's not quite as fleshed out as Amazing Adventures does. Because C&C kind of assumes that you might have a setting where you have, like, flintlocks and muskets and stuff. So it accounts for that. Amazing Adventures assumes you might be doing cyberpunk, space opera, sci-fi, some historical setting.
Really? I wonder
it
if
takes
we could,
that into account.
I wonder if we could like port Shadowrun into a system like that, because Shadowrun's got a really bad system, but a great lore. I love the lore.
Like it's not going to be 100%. Like, I think Amazing Adventures is kind of the weakest around cyberpunk, and there's a specific reason for that. It doesn't have like cyberware or anything like that. Like, that is something you either got to have to like
Yeah,
port
but you know
over
it's really
from
good.
another
You can
game.
easily home roll that by using like the enchantments that's in like Castle and Crusade, which is basically what you would be doing.
Yeah, you need to have like some sort of conversion.
I never thought of that, Billy.
I'm just saying, like when
That's a good
Nikolai had
idea.
brought up the enchantment system, and I was like, "Well, technically, this isn't like too far off." Oh, you pick except this one, it would be body parts, right?
Yeah, I
Instead
never
of
thought of that.
armor and
Holy
stuff.
shit. Holy shit, I never even thought of it.
Technology is like magic.
Technologies is like asshole. Some reason everyone has it.
See, this is why I really like this system, by the way, is that you like a mechanic over here, you can easily move that over here and have it work.
I am going to be keeping the rolling every round.
Yeah. I've learned that I really like that, actually. I didn't know what I'd think about it at first, but we actually started playing. I'm like, this is fun.
Initiative roll?
Yeah, initiative roll.
Yeah.
So you're rolling every round of combat that finishes, you roll again.
Yeah, in 5th edition, you only roll initiative once, and that's at the very beginning. But you kind of realize it's actually very shallow when it's done that way. Because, like, think about it. You're only determining who goes first at the start of the combat. You're not really determining much more than that. If you're rolling every round, it means if you've got better initiative, you are far more likely to get the advantage over people.
Well, it also keeps just the combat dynamic in general.
That too. It keeps it chaotic, and combat is chaos.
That's right. Very fun. But, like I said, I'll be getting this done. I'm probably going to use Incarnate for the map.
Incarnate?
For the Hex map. Yeah, Incarnate's the free site. Well, you can use the free one, but you can also pay it's $25 a year, which is very cheap. And it has all the pre-built assets and stuff that you can use.
Yeah.
Painter.
We were actually looking over that when our stream finished with RH Snow and the Black Knight.
Yeah, you guys were talking about maps as well.
We were going over a lot of maps, especially RH Snow. She chose the subject of maps, and yeah, she knows a lot about maps. Showed off maybe close to a dozen different maps. We all had at least one map to bring out and show off and talk about. It was really great.
Got Iron Seas in the house. Just ink and rice on a piece of paper like a real man.
Hail, good sir.
I also need to talk to Readout. Readout, give me some history. Because I might actually set it in the Mojave.
Listen, these are real Japanese pins I'll have you know.
The Mojave.
You need to have there just be like a Fallout New Vegas reference in there somewhere.
I believe it was the Mojave that may have had the Wendigo.
Dude, I'm so into Fallout right now. I've been spending the whole weekend with mods and getting stuff working on Fallout New Vegas. It's trippy game when you push it with mods and stuff.
New Vegas is like the Fallout game that I think just about everybody loves. I don't know too many people who dislike it.
Let me put this like this, Otter. The daytime may have some Fallout stuff in it.
Okay, now we're
the nighttime was to be more of a creepy shit.
No, that's fair. I'm cool with that.
The daytime, you might have rad scorpions. Just saying, you might.
I mean, Fallout's very creepy in the night as well.
The day ones are gonna have some more like decent, like not punishing ones. I will say that. The nighttime, I exclusively wanted them to be. Oh no, something bad's gonna happen to y'all. Like, you're not gonna have a good time. Yeah.
Understandable. But
how to sell a game in 2025? You're not gonna have a good time. Gonna be punished. Enjoy the Lord. Yeah, talking about Shadowrun, same thing, buddy. Like, I love that there's such a deep history, a good division of clans and different. It's so rich and like fantastic. I love it. Brings the cyber with the magic, with the species and the monsters and all that.
I've heard that consistently. It's like I know a lot of people who love the world of Shadowrun, but it's like certain editions of the TTRPG system are just bad.
Yeah, from edition 1 to 6 they're bad. And there's like 6 editions, so it's not good.
Yeah.
Like there's no perfect system. That's why I'm looking like for something simple that can maybe take that in.
Finding a good cyberpunk system is surprisingly tough. That's the weird thing.
I mean, Cyberpunk 2020 is closer to my liking, right? Except you don't have any of the magic stuff. It's all, but there's too many sub skills. Like there's so many skills and specialties that you divide your XP. But I like the way that it forces you to exercise a skill in order to gain experience in it. In other words, you're kind of forced to put XP into the skills that you used in the previous scene, or
it forces you to commit to a role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We do also need to go over the classes, Otter. They want to see how they're
for Amazing Adventures.
Yeah.
1 second, and I'll go and get the book.
So I'm wondering if it's going to be easy conversion over.
Is that an idea?
What?
Kahuna says Fallout 5 Race War. It sounds like the perfect title for a new Fallout game that would come out next year. Like,
oh, I think Oblivion's getting remastered. Like another leak came out of it. But there's this. But that's just so desperate. They're like, if we release Skyrim once again, they'll rage.
They're like, oh
what about
shit.
Oblivion?
They're like, oh shit, we're out of ideas. Quick, we need to remaster a game.
Yeah, I don't know when. I don't know when the fuck we're supposed to hear about this. If I remember correctly, this was 2 or 3 years ago. We heard rumblings that they were wanting to do an Oblivion and I think a Fallout 3 remaster. The Oblivion one, I think we saw some more screenshots of it, where I think one of the developers ended up like posting on their thing. Someone found it, of course. Like work on it.
Well, I never played Oblivion before, so if they remaster it, I'll be sure to buy it a year after it comes out.
I hope they keep in the really bad dialogue.
When it comes on special, James, like when it gets 95% off on Steam.
You betcha. I'll be there.
Billy, I also brought up the classes here.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, nature of the system is GM can easily outlaw any of these classes as he so wishes. Classes are this: Acrobat, Arcanist, Demon Hunter, Duelist, a Feral, a Gunslinger, a hooligan, an investigator, a mentalist, a pirate, powered? I think that's an alternate to arcanist. A pugilist, a raider, a socialite, and a soldier. And last but not least, a Zen archer.
Yeah, I might have to go through these. I'm fine with having like a priest or something class that like throws holy water or some shit, you know.
Yeah.
Works on the dead zombie.
Well, how a lot of these are meant to work is like these are like general names, but it's like they're meant to be generic enough to where you can easily like fit them to whatever your setting is.
Right. We get like blessed bullets. Is that a thing?
You can get what?
It's a priest to bless your bullets. Have blessed.
Well,
bullets.
I'm actually going to be a little bit generous. You can roll to see how many bullets you carve across on the tip.
Oh, like okay.
And that technically will affect undead creatures and shit. Not as much as like blessing or throwing holy water on your shit, but you can still get a little bit out of it. I will say that.
Sounds good.
Because they're... You'll see. Also,
hey,
Otter...
Thanks for joining us, Christina. Have a good night.
You know what one you didn't point out, Otter, that I thought you were going to point out?
What's that?
There's a mysterious painter on there.
Oh, I saw about it, but I'm like, I don't immediately get the reference.
Who was known? What is the most famous painter in the world? Everyone knows him.
I feel like this is a trick question, but I'm gonna say Bob Ross.
Bob Vila or Michelangelo?
No, I know who it is, but I'm gonna.
I mean Bob Ross, not Bob.
Oh, okay. I think James.
What was the question? Say the question again.
He's from Austria.
Yes.
So
he's a mysterious painter. He's the most famous painter in the world. This is technically true. Everyone knows him.
I know who you're talking about.
Codename Grey Wolf.
He has a funny mustache.
Well, not anymore. He shaved it off when he moved to Argentina.
Right.
Yeah, I would not have gotten that immediately. You had to elaborate a little more for me to actually get it. Now I'm like, oh, I
got it pretty immediately. Once you add in Painter and Billy Bob, it's quite clear.
Well, that's why I was saying. I mean, he is the most famous painter in the world. This is a fact.
But he's not known for his painting, so it's kind of
but he is a painter.
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of a
famous.
disingenuous question.
No, it isn't. James, is that a disingenuous question? Technically,
I mean,
because he's not known for being a painter, so saying he's the most famous painter.
But the term Austrian painter is kind of like synonymous to being Hitler.
But to be fair, I put mysterious painter. And this is also on the the fucking everything's bad list. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, that's Murphy's Law.
Mm-hmm. I love Murphy's Law. It makes me lots of money.
Is Trump gonna
even Christian got it like right off the bat? Yeah.
I hear Trump's gonna revoke it with a mandate to executive order to repeal Murphy's Law.
Well, I'm sure the Democrats find a way to stop that.
Are they going to be crying death and destruction one day after, or less than that?
Yeah, for a little while.
That's the night before at the satanic party.
It's what we like to call the goldfish fear. They'll be afraid for about a week. Then they'll forget it ever happened and moved on to something else.
I mean, it would be sad if you were like in Adolf's family, right? You had aspirations to be a painter, but everyone's like, you can't do it, you know.
I think like
your entire lineage.
I mean,
think like
you could change your name. I mean,
they did.
Artists have been doing that forever.
Like I forgot, like the last two people related to Adolf Hitler changed their name. Their father changed their name, but they swore never to get married, so that way their lineage would die off with them.
That's so stupid. They were retarded.
Well, there you go.
I'd have been like, you know what? I'm gonna bring all the Hitlers into the world, bitches.
I would have been like, very indifferent. It's like, well, what did I do? Shit.
This is what they should have done.
People
they should
roll
have
the
got
dice for you.
big studio camera pointed at themselves, pointed at the world map. You get a Hitler. You get a Hitler. You get a Hitler.
You get a Hitler.
That's what they should.
I've seen the original clip of Oprah saying that, and I didn't think it was that funny. I don't see how it kind of got on.
It's because
she was describing the vast majority of what Oprah does in general.
Well, it's because she'd done it to death as well. Like she's been doing it the same shtick. Like you get of this, you get of that, and then I think it's compounded over time. Yeah, this is not a one-time thing. It didn't blow.
I don't Oprah. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like Catch Me Outside Girl, which was like a one event thing that just blew up.
Yeah,
she's a
rapper.
rapper.
It was a one event thing, and then she went to OnlyFans, and of course, like every fucking degenerate bought it. Now she's rich.
And she's a single mom.
Yeah.
Is she?
Yes.
Is this surprising, Frederick?
Is
this surprising?
I'm shocked. She also had a lot of plastic surgery. She doesn't look like she used to.
Already?
Well, yeah, she made a lot of money, and
man, she's going to age so well. Because plastic surgery has never ruined someone's body chemistry before.
Well, I mean, luckily, being a female rapper has a long career ahead of her. I would think.
Well, depends. J-Lo's still at it, technically.
Well, yeah, but she's getting pulled into the Diddy story, isn't she? Because
it worked out for Dolly Parton, didn't it?
There's no such thing as the Diddy story. Let's be honest. Nothing's going to come of that.
Yeah, but Dolly Parton's actually smart,
Dolly Smartin.
She's not
She's the
entirely
exception
retarded.
right in the rule.
She's got a whole theme park named after her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually been there a fair few times.
Really? What's it like?
Really?
It's
What's
fun.
that like?
What's there?
I mean, it's a theme park, and it's pretty much based around the whole theme is country music. So I mean,
is there a lot of hills to climb over?
I mean,
can buy a banjo
park
there,
itself
can't
is
you?
right in the middle of a valley. I mean,
It's in Gatlinburg, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's in Gatling.
No,
It's Pigeon Forge. It's right next to Gatlinburg.
Let me put it like this: Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg are right next to each other, literally.
Is that in Tennessee?
Yeah,
it's
to the point where they
It is
almost
it's like the touristy area of our state.
It's a big tourist trap. Big tourist trap.
Is it a good one, though?
Kind of, sort of.
It's okay.
I mean, it's probably better than Star Wars Land, right?
It ultimately depends on where you go. I actually like Pigeon Forge, which is where Dollywood is. Gatlinburg, it's okay. They've got an aquarium over there that's pretty cool.
Does Pigeon Forge got a thing with pigeons?
No.
They really don't.
No.
That's a shame.
Just called Pigeon Forge.
You basically got 3 towns there jammed right next to each other that are all tourist traps. Gatlinburg is the biggest tourist trap, even though Dollywood isn't like Pigeon Forge. That's the funny thing.
Here's the thing: you'll drive into Gatlinburg, and then somehow you end up in Pigeon Forge, and you're like, "Wow, how'd this happen?" Like I said, they're pretty close together, and they're both big tourist spots.
Oh, okay.
Have,
Got a message from our guest here. He's been he's been impromptu babysitting, so might not make it tonight. So we'll see. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. We'll see.
All right, call him gay.
I think that anyone that comes into contact with you gets called gay.
That's right. If you don't call them gay, then they,
They might be gay.
No, they're actually gay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where I was going with that.
It's the opposite. It's an opposite land.
Opposite land.
So, are there going to be dragons in your cowboy game?
Is there going to be dragons?
Yeah, can we ride dragons and stuff?
I mean, I guess if you find a dragon and you try to tame it, I guess.
I want to get a Utah Raptor.
The overall feel I get from Billy's game so far is it basically feels like the Dark Tower.
Let me put it like this, Frederick. Yes, there is fantasy stuff going to be in there, so there is a possibility you find a dragon. It's a possibility. Or you get attacked by man-eating pixies. Either one.
Man-eating pixies again, huh?
Yes.
That's kind of like straight out of
No, it's not.
Berserk, isn't it?
What?
Man-eating pixies.
No, that's been in other shit before.
I've
The
eaten
whole
pixie.
thing of there's one that's very much like pixies that eat like teeth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was even in the
Don't-
Hellblade
yeah.
or Hellboy. I mean, sorry.
The second Hellboy movie.
Yeah, the Hellboy, but it was also in the comics, I think, as well.
Is that a good movie? I didn't see it. That's
Yeah,
with
it's a
the-
good movie. I really enjoy it. It's not quite the same as the graphic novels, but they're still fun movies.
Oh, dude, his graphic novels are so good.
Yeah, it's not the same level as the graphic novels. The graphic novels, I'm like, this is basically like modern day Solomon Kane. The movies are a little more popcorn flick, but they're still pretty darn fun.
Yeah, I mean, only Frank Miller brought his comics so faithfully to the screen. I mean, there is one French artist, Belgian artist, Bilal, and Kill Bilal.
If you read Hellboy and you're going into the movies thinking the movie's going to adapt it right, you're probably not going to be for you.
It's more of its own thing, and like treat it in that way.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
I was exposed to the movies first, then I read the comics. I was like, I was going in kind of low expectations. Then I actually read them. I'm like, holy shit, these are actually really good.
El boy.
Yeah, Mike Mignola's he's a legit artist. Like he's got his stuff just looks deceptively simple because it's a lot of silhouettes, but he draws fuckers to that scene, man.
The movie is
I
also
know.
like it was like going off the trend also with Men in Black.
Yeah, it really was. Like a lot of attention is drawn to it in the first movie, especially.
Yeah, with the if I remember correctly, it was completely different in the comic. There wasn't like this full on like hiding stuff from the open world shit, right? Like
That
from
was
Public-
one part of it. Another part is that this is the biggest change from the comic. Like Liz and Abe are really just side characters in the graphic novel. In the movie, they're like major characters. Like the whole thing between Liz and Hellboy, like the whole romance subplot, that it's not in the comics at all. That's something that Del Toro made up.
Gotcha. The adaptations.
Like it's fine when you watch the movie, but I'm like, compared to how it's presented in the graphic novel, I'm like, I actually like how the comic does it better.
Hmm.
Gotcha. I might have to check this out then. I'll have to pick one up like, I don't know, 2 months or something.
Oh, dude, I could do a review with you. I've got like a lot of things, dude. I have them in French. I gotta pull them out.
Perfect.
It's too good. I
Yeah.
gotta pull these out.
We'll do a review.
Oh no, it smells in here now.
We'll
Smells
get
like
wine.
snails.
Speaking
and
of French
cigars.
comics, I watched Heavy Metal over the weekend, or rewatched it.
The
I've
movie?
watched it a few times now.
Heavy metal, black and silver.
I'm guessing everybody here has watched that movie at least
Nah,
once.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
Yeah, once.
No.
It's a
It
great
was
movie.
years ago, but James, I'm surprised.
fun.
It sounds up your alley. Very pulpy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm really surprised you've never seen it.
I mean, you'd be surprised how much stuff I genuinely haven't seen, but am aware of and or have studied.
Like
I literally watched a 14-hour breakdown of Twin Peaks 2 years ago. I just watched Twin Peaks last week.
I've only seen little bits and pieces of Twin Peaks. I haven't watched the entire series.
Season 1's good. Season 2 falls off a cliff hard.
Oh, John,
I've seen clips of this. I don't think I've ever actually watched it. I've looked up heavy metal, and the first thing I see is like a dude fighting a chick with a broom with her tits out.
I'll also say this: the movie is European. It is translation. It's extremely horny. It's a good film. Like it's more of an anthology film. Like it's not just one story. It's like 6 stories bundled up together, and it's like if you're looking for
thread that brings them together, though.
What is it?
There is a thread that brings them together, though.
Yeah, if you're looking for like really tightly written, like flawless stories, this ain't the movie for you. It's more that they're kind of like rough stories, but the ideas they have are really cool.
Yeah, I seen the one
point of
in
it.
the bomber, the one with the bomber.
The bomber one is really good. I really like that one. I don't like how it ends, but I love certain bits of it like a lot.
Yeah, it's real great. Very dark, and I knew of the song and was a fan of the song before seeing the bomber scene. I was like, oh, what's this? This looks interesting animation.
I think the best story they save for last. That's the one with Tarna, the one chick everybody loves, where it's like she's basically like a fantasy swords and sorcery hero, walking around in like full on lingerie, just cutting down like bad guys.
Nice.
It's a legit good story too. That's the thing.
I'm sure that they were all lifted from heavy metal as well.
I'm sure.
The artwork's looking great here, Frederic.
Yeah, Mike Mignola, he
look
is
at
a
that.
master, so unique. Like, what?
One
Want to
thing
hear something really funny? I wanted to ink like him. I was thinking I was gonna steer and I'm doing the exact opposite. Like I'm doing like millions of tiny little lines instead of dark silhouettes. But I do admire his technique. And dude, the colors are so minimalist. There is a small amount of colors on the page, but he chooses them very carefully.
Less is more.
100%.
But yeah, like talking about the Tarna character real quick. One thing I didn't realize, I could have sworn whenever I saw this movie before that she spoke. No, she's the one character in that entire story. She doesn't say a word, but she's bad fucking ass. Like, she is super cool in that story.
And titties.
That too. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, it works it works on a few different levels, in fact. Like, let's put it this way. She's the type of character where it's like, it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you fall on. It doesn't matter whether you're you're looking for like a nice pair of boobs to look at, or if like let's say you're looking for a feminist icon or something like that. Technically, she fits both bills, and like neither of them is like heavy-handed or anything like that. It's like, yeah, she's basically like Red Sonja in a lot of ways. She's like a full-on hero-esque, but at the same time, it's like, it ain't afraid to show her ass. Like, there's one scene where I'm like, this just feels like the writers being horny.
Fun fact, Otter, they were.
Oh yeah, the entire movie is that way, by the way. I think there's at least half a dozen points in that movie where it's just tits.
Well, I mean, it is heavy metal, you know.
Like, it's actually the most tasteful point in that movie where it shows boobs. There's other points in the movie where I'm like, why is this here? Oh, okay, I'm not gonna complain too much, but still, why is this here?
Because heavy metal magazines.
Because they have a reputation to uphold, Otter.
Yeah, basically.
So
It's pretty much what it is.
This is tome 1, and this is tome 2. So,
Ooh, double
How much you pay
tone.
for those?
let me see is the price. I don't know, maybe like $30 or maybe more.
Not bad.
Maybe
Look at
60.
that.
I think these are big size. It's probably
Yeah,
60.
I mean, look at that. It looks folio.
Yeah, it's European. Like comics, there's something like 72 pages. You could pay around like 25, maybe $28. But these are big and they're translated from English, so they're usually extra.
You know, I would say
300 pages close
I'd
to.
I'd go to Canada to get that, but you know, ugh.
These are in French.
Oh, you think I can't learn French, bitch?
Well, I'd love to see you try. It'd be hilarious. But I
I'm
think you
suddenly reminded of Brad Pitt and Glorious Bastards speaking Italian.
Yes.
could.
Arrivederci.
Yeah.
To be fair, in that scene, it is supposed to be the
I know
Like
it's
doing
meant
on the spot.
like that. That's meant to be like they're caught on the spot. Also, it's like for one, he's kind of a joke character in a lot of ways too. It's like it's meant to be funny.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And because Brad is actually freaking good at accents. Like if you look at what's the one he did, like he plays this fucking redneck from Ireland or some shit. He's got the
From what?
deepest. Is it from Ireland or from Scotland or something? He has the. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. He's the most like you can't understand.
When you say
him.
Southern accent, you're referring to mine. That's what we know as Americans.
Yeah, no, but I don't think he wasn't American. I think he's from like with the what do you call it, British Isles,
Are you thinking of Irish, Scottish?
something like that. Yeah, and you cannot understand anything he's saying in the movie. Like even the characters are having a hard time because like he's such a local slang that he's talking that no one understands what he's saying, basically. But he's like one of the best. He's a fucking pinky.
Are we still talking about Inglorious Bastards?
No, I think he's asking the Snatch movie. Is that what you're referring to?
Oh yes, Snatch. That's the one. Thank you, Patrick.
Hold up. Snatch. I might have to. I'm gonna really have to specify that it's a movie I'm looking up.
Snatchy, snatch.
Because if not, something else will pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snatch.
I mean,
safe,
it's a very popular film.
safe search off. High res.
Snatch
image.
movie. Okay. I mean, well, you know.
Filter
Mad
down
Brad-
the image results to only large files.
Well, remember those Google glasses, Otter?
Yep.
Yeah, people would say the best way to hack it is just Google search image,
It's got Jason Statham.
and then the
in
most
it.
obscene things you could imagine, right?
I forgot the name of the Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that white guy.
Yeah, he plays a Mexican.
I
Almost
fucking hate pickies. Oh yeah, it's so good, man. If you haven't seen that, watch it just for Brad Pitt's performance.
Yeah.
And it's a great movie as well. It's a fight movie.
I don't know if have I seen this. You know what he was really good in, and actually, y'all were supposed to. One of y'all was supposed to watch it. Actually,
What? Fight Club.
no,
12 Monkeys.
the Bullet Train movie
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, okay.
that has the the
Oh.
backstory to the fucking drink in the movie. Like every character in the movie has a backstory that it plays. It gets to the fucking water bottle, and then it does like a super cut to its backstory and how it got there. You watched it, Frederic, didn't you? Finally.
Yeah, no, I watched it when it came out. So it's been a while.
Ooh.
I mean, I enjoyed watching it, but I don't think it's super great movie either. Like,
Nah, I think it's a really good movie. I think it mixes comedy and shit very well.
I know you guys are gonna like crucify me for this, but the other day was the first time I watched Legend for the first time.
oh, the Tom Cruise movie with the Bill Curry devil.
Yeah, Tim Curry playing the devil.
Yeah. I've never watched it, so don't worry about it.
It's a
Yeah,
good movie. It's not Ridley Scott's best film. Strangely enough, the best part of the movie is the costume design. Like the costume design in that movie is incredible.
I forgot who said it, but when it was like in a review of that movie, it's like Tim Curry is the devil and Tom Cruise is a Link from Legend of Zelda.
It kind of feels like a Legend of Zelda movie in a way.
I don't think I've watched this movie or even heard about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You haven't heard of it?
No.
You
I mean, a lot of people
probably,
have.
yeah, you probably saw pictures of Tim Curry as the devil. That picture gets around a
No,
lot.
I've never even seen him as the devil.
Really?
Huh. Well, he looks like, the devil.
I've seen him as a transvestite in fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
And in real life.
But dude, that's such an iconic devil. Like he's got the super long horns, and it has to have like inspired Diablo in some way or something.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking when I watched the movie, because I'm like it's depicted, it's light versus dark, that standard setup. But here's the thing, it characterizes both by saying like, oh yeah, like fairies, like nature, that's light. Dark is just like full on like Diablo shit. It's like torture, like flames and brimstone and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like,
very metal.
I'm like, this is metal.
Yeah, it's basically opera versus metal.
Yeah, pretty much. And you have like Ridley Scott like having his kind of like style of cinematography and everything. I'm like, you know
Patrick,
what? There
if you're
is
still-
actual merit to this movie.
If Patrick's still watching, this is some crazy good Kirby Crackle done by Mike Mignola here.
Yeah. Oh, and also it has a life lesson at the very beginning. Don't trust women.
Also, don't
very
fuck
important.
around with unicorns. It always ends badly.
Mainly because
See,
of
we
women.
found the French part of the book, Frederic. There you go. Zoom in on it.
The French part of this.
Yeah.
This is Mike Mignola, so there's nothing French about
I
it.
know, well, but it's the French copy. They specifically made them go back and redraw it.
Does that mean there's
Oh,
some
that,
stuff
you mean you're talking about?
dirty?
Okay, let me just
Yeah.
move the camera. So
Although I will say,
The
you say
spell that's
there's,
levitating her tits up.
I'll say that you said there's nothing French about it. It's literally the French copy.
yeah, so here he's using magic to create implants,
Oh, okay. They do that in Hollywood.
or he's filling her up and he's going to get me too. I don't know which of the
They
two.
also do that in Hollywood.
Or he's extracting milk. Who knows?
Nice.
There's 3 possibilities clearly.
Awesome.
Well, that's one way to draw fuckus to the page.
Oh, he does. Okay.
So we're gonna bring this up. This was last week.
Oh boy, what did I do?
Didn't really care to bring it up when I was doing it with animated, but Razor Fist's stance on digital art now.
Oh, that's not a new stance he's had, by the way. Here's the thing, though, and here's where I really start to find it odd. You got to put your money where your mouth is, bro. Let's look at the covers for your books and your graphic novel.
Oh boy.
Are those hand drawn? No, none of them
No
are.
handy.
Well, hold
No
up.
handy.
Some of the ones I think are hand drawn in the Ghost of Badlands. However,
The cover?
the interiors are 100% digital.
Oh.
The coloring
Really?
on the colored version is 100% digital.
Yeah,
some
but
of the
does he
ones
know
on
this?
there, I do know. Shane Elijah, if he did one of them in the back, it was supposed to be like an alternative cover.
Oh,
the book.
okay.
I know that one was definitely
Oh,
hand
dude,
drawn.
we did.
But besides the point, you're fucking all your interior art in your book that has your name on it that you promote it is fucking digital, dude. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
It's in the paperwork.
Yeah. I'm like, and I will agree with you, Otter. I'm pretty sure the covers they hired other artists. I'm pretty sure they did it digitally.
Yep. I'm like, here's the thing. If you're going to make claims like that, you got to put your money where your mouth is. And it's like, for the most part, he hasn't.
Oh man. Listen,
Like, I don't mean to blackpill or anything like that, but this is my personal opinion on Razor Fist over the last year. I actually think he's lost his edge a little bit. Not completely, just a little bit. He's made a few big missteps where I'm like, the fuck are you doing, bro?
he's starting into Shad a little bit. It's the same cycle that happened to Shad. Like Shad made like one bad one, then he tripped, fell into another one, fell into another one. Like, all right.
Because he was basically comparing digital art to AI art.
Yes, he was saying it was just as bad as AR and just as lazy. And I was like, what? Okay. Once again, by the way, on both of those, the trailer that was for his Ghost of the Badlands comics is AI.
Oh yeah, it's obviously AI. That was the thing.
Bad AI, actually.
And
Pretty
then
bad.
in the book is digital. It's all digital art.
Which I don't mind, but you know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
mind
mind
it
either. I
either.
don't care. As long as it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do digital art, but I've never had a problem with it. Like I've done
Yeah,
other
but you
types.
do digital coloring. Most artists do digital coloring.
Yeah, like it's a high percentage. Colors is a different, like it's a different
shit's
level of
difficult.
difficulty. Yeah.
Well,
But,
here's where I say that Razor's lost his edge a little bit. I don't even think it's fully his takes. That's part of it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, what's he actually doing YouTube-wise? He's still streaming, but I'm like, what videos is he actually making that isn't just the occasional common tubing video?
Yeah, that's true.
That was the
I don't
thing.
watch too much, so.
And that like before that, he still made other videos, and I'm like, that was kind of one of the main reasons why I watched Razor. It was his Metal Mythos video. It was his game reviews. What the fuck happened to his video game reviews?
He
Those
still
were
does
great.
Depths of DS9, albeit the reason it's not really on upload on YouTube is because fuck Paramount and Comcast is like copyright bullshit.
Now that's understandable. Like I get that.
Which is actually like the Depths of DS9.
Yeah, I really don't mean to black pill or anything like that. It's just something I've kind of noticed about Razor over the last year now.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Like he's been coming up since what was his first bad take? It happened like with this like a few months ago.
It was the Goonergate stuff.
The Goonergate shit. So I've disagreed with Razor on some things before, but that was the first one where I'm like, not only do I hard disagree with this, this also contradicts what you've said in the past. Either you're really contradicting yourself or you're simping for Melanie Mac.
It raises questions, especially when like a whole bunch of people kind of behave the same way. Like they're all going on this Goonergate thing at the same time.
Almighty Lolly was speculating that it was there was a script being handed around by like one of the big kind of like by one of the big con companies.
Right. Like if you get like labeled on a contract, it's like what we've known Hollywood to do and the main media doing. Like they're doing it with influencers now, right? It's not different.
Right.
Signing people up. But I mean, I'm not saying I know that this has happened. I'm just speculating, of course, because we don't know anything at all. But when you hear the same story and it doesn't sound concordant with what they've been saying before, kind of raises questions, I think.
The weird thing was Razor was falling into the exact same trap he pointed out with that a lot of Republicans and conservatives make, which is making an argument that you logically cannot win. And on top of that, it's like you're basically making yourself the lovable loser. This is the exact type of argument that creates that.
And his whole persona is like based on being like super smart, like Razor's right, like Razor's Edge smart. Like he talks fast. He's got this huge vocabulary. He makes a lot of good points. He used to be like super on point and like humiliate whoever he's destroying with his analysis.
Another thing, this is perhaps the biggest thing, was he did not ask for permission. Like a lot of his content has been edgy over the years, and it's like, here's the thing, like I always believe there's been a Christian part to him, and I'm like, I'm not like, I think that's great. Hell, even him being open about it now, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
Here's the difference though. Over the last year, it's felt like he's turned into like church dad Razor or something like that. And I'm like, okay, Razor, it's like, I'm fine with that, but it's like, you got a brand here, and it's like, I don't think you should be compromising that just because of this, unless you've really changed around your life beliefs or something like that. The thing is, like, I don't think
when somebody does, they would have said so.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think he ever really contradicted his life beliefs, because even whenever he's not said he's Christian, I'm like, there's certain things he'll always say where I'm like, that's kind of Christian.
Even if you do change your beliefs, there's like going back and like shaming everyone who does what you did last week. It's not a strong position to have. It's like, if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones,
Right. And that was the weird thing. And it's like, since then, I've still watched his content. I'll still tune in for a Razor Fist Arcade every now and again, but I'm like, his content doesn't have the same edge that it did about a year or two ago. And I don't know if it's just like a lasting impression that gave me or whatnot, but I've noticed it more and more. I'm like, bro, what are you actually making here? I'm like you're not making any YouTube content. And it's like, I think you're working on your graphic novel, but I'm like, outside of scripting and like basic paneling, what else are you going to be doing? Like maybe some Kickstarter stuff? I don't fully know.
I think George was handling the Kickstarter last time.
Yeah, I'm like that kind of leaves me asking, even with the first Ghost of the Badlands, how much was he actually doing? It sounded like George was doing the vast majority of the work.
Well, if you're the artist, by definition, you're doing like 90% of the work, regardless. Like the writer, a lot of times will start doing like the YouTube stuff. You'll see the writers doing more promo, getting behind website promotions, create other content. But yeah, George was coming from a background of doing campaigns before, so he had done it for other books of his, right? Because he does children's books as well. He's got like different styles.
Yeah, and I know he made like a children's book right before that was really well received. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna knock Razor fully for what for Ghost of the Badlands. Like, he did make the script for it, and it's a really good script.
Oh, 100%. Like I think he had a great story, and I think George just illustrated it really well. It's a good book. Like
yeah.
And it's kind of weird that he didn't want to hire an artist to do a second one, like when he lost George. Just hire an artist.
Did he hire one?
He did. No, I thought he did. I've seen like promos for the second one.
Oh, did he actually do it? Because from what I remember,
yeah, I
he's
think he
basically
did.
like it's a canceled thing, and I'm like,
no, I've been
artist.
I've been seeing where he's been kind of like giving little hints and pieces, like it's like bits of artwork where it's like relating to Ghost of the Badlands. I'm like, yeah, they've got a second one in the works.
Okay.
You got a color copy, right, Otter?
Yeah, I got a color copy. I've also got the black and white copy.
Oh, you got both.
Yeah,
Yep.
they have to sit in two different places in the bus.
I actually think the color copy is better. I thought it would be the reverse, but I actually got my hands on it. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
the color adds a ton to it.
It really enhances it. I got a recent comic book from Mr. Tuttle, I think his name is. He's got a vampire cowboy story out, and I bought the black and white and the colored, and it's all by the same artist as well. I forget the name off the top of my head, but dude, it looks so freaking good. Like, the shots are amazing. It's vampire western, and he has a colored version, and I'm like, the inks look so great. I have to get them, but the color makes it all look better, so I have to get that too. So luckily, it was a good price for both, and I'm hopefully going to do a review.
Yeah.
Get those.
I can show some of the Ghost of the Badlands because I still have all of the pictures that we took. That's another thing. Digital copies, people. Digital copies. Gotta have them.
It's a weird thing because it's like Ghost of the Badlands, I actually think is the best thing Razor's worked on creatively. Like, outside of some of his YouTube videos. I'm wondering though how big his involvement was. I do mean that earnestly. I'm not trying to be mean about it. Because it's like
at the bare minimum, he's written it, right?
Yeah, he also did write a short story for it. The reason why I ask though is compare the writing for the graphic novel to his prose writing. His prose writing, it's like it still has certain commonalities to it, but how he writes prose, it can be a little questionable sometimes. Some of that is new writer syndrome, but some of it I'm like, I actually think you do need a more scrutinous editor to go through this.
That short story was rough, and it was rough because he switched to 3 different POVs with no indication of a switch.
Yeah.
Which was, I was like, oh my god, what is going on? Like, at first I opened the story in the back, I'm like, all right, I'm reading through a girl who just got her family murdered and about to get raped, right?
Yep.
And then immediately swaps into the dude who's fixing to do it, the main bad, or kind of not really main bad guy, but like kind of antagonist of the story. And then it swaps into like the marshal dude.
No, whenever I read through that story, I was actually confused. Like, you ever read a story and it's like by the end of the like short story or the novel, it's like you're confused what to even imagine by the end. That's kind of what it felt like.
I have seen that before. This was done intentionally in it's called the Illuminatus trilogy by Robert Anton Wilson and another Robert, I believe. So and the characters are kind of like in an acid trip or something, and so you're switching for like black female to this other character and this other character, and you're just
but this
going.
wasn't an acid trip. This was just switching into a scene with no indication.
Yeah, well,
if there's
that's the same
deliberation
thing, yeah.
behind it, that's entirely different. Like
Yeah,
there's artistic expression there, and this just means it's an unfortunate side effect.
Yeah. Oh, you're
Here's
going
the
back.
art.
You're going quickly through it. Like, take your time, man. These are great shots. What I love about George is his characters have a very unique look to them. Like
His expressions add so much to the graphic novel, in my opinion.
You know, some artists will draw the same face over and over again, but it's not the case with George. He's got good panel layout. You can tell he's got an anime like penchant. You know, he's the kind of like the anime layout a little bit.
You can tell he was inspired by Vagabond whenever he drew this.
Well, the most obvious anime panels, and I'll show it later, is usually the action ones because it's mainly 2 to 3, sometimes 4 panels. It's very anime.
Yeah.
A lot of anime does.
Hey, if you do
Well,
it
it's
well,
also because it's compacted in like a small fucking book, so you can't do French. Do 20 panels on a page.
Yeah, those are crazy, man. The French, like even their original art is twice as big as what the Americans do.
Albeit, I've always hated his rain effects where it just looks like scratch marks.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to tell me what you think of my rain effects in the review.
I don't
In
remember
the upcoming Rattel review.
I know it was so much fun beta reading your comic because I get to page 1 or 2 and I'm like, I see what you're doing with this. This is Bitcoin the comic. That's exactly what it is. And I'm
Nice.
like, I have to respect this.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoiners really get into it. Like they take to it like a fish to water.
It feels like Hackers, like the movie Hackers, but for Bitcoin.
Yeah, so we know cyberpunk, but this is cypherpunk, right? This is about the subculture of people who were working on digital money and encryption and protecting rights through communication and freedom of speech and all that stuff. So you're dealing with the same kind of hacker overtones or undertones, but it's Bitcoin centric around this character as well. So, and at the same time, it's a fun superhero comic, right? It's crazy costumes and shenanigans, fighting over skyscrapers and all that good stuff.
Above all, it's just meant to be fun. And from what I read, it was definitely fun. And that you would be surprised how many comics and books struggle with that alone. You'd be surprised.
Also, he actually he did change the fire, improve it from the black and white one.
The fire, yeah.
I don't know what was going on here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do realize, because I was watching all the comic book reviews for years before, and it's something that I wanted to make sure I didn't fall into. Like, there's a lot of traps that, I mean, not to say that it's flawless, like I still want to fix things, because the feedback you guys gave me was the best I've gotten, and I'm still working on integrating that and fixing that.
Don't worry, we made him cry. We know.
It's weird because it's like the best way to learn what trappings there are is like reviewing or beta reading other people's stuff. And it's like, at first you're like, oh, this looks good. This looks good. This looks good. Like, just ask James for a review I left for one of his short stories. I barely left any like critiques there just because like I was fairly new at it at the time. I'm like, oh, it looks good. It looks good. Some of it is kind of like you're like, for one, you haven't developed those critical skills quite enough. That's one thing. Two, it's like you're also trying to like hold back any criticism you might think is a bit hurtful. So in the end, you're trying to find that balance of like, what criticism can I give and have it actually enhance what's there. That's the real balance you're trying to strike.
Yeah, because this is not a review for like a first draft on paper written. This is a review of like the captions and dialogue over finished art for the most part, or at least finished pencils.
Right. I think there's if I'm going back to this comparison, there is a difference between reviewing a short story and reviewing a novel. A short story is much less of an investment. A novel, you're paying anywhere between $8 to $20 for it.
Yeah.
Comics, you're paying even more.
Yeah. Comics takes a lot of time to draw everything panel to panel and all that. Compared to the writing, I mean, usually writers will write like I think a handful of scripts, like I think 4 to 5 scripts a month is what comic book writers are expected in the American market. At least it used to be when Marvel and DC were at their heights. I think that was kind of the norm, where artists would mostly do 1 book a month, and that's just on pencils or just on inks. Some pros were crazy good, like Jack Kirby, John Byrne were known to draw like 3 or more books a month, which is just mind-blowingly crazy. Of course, there'd be like less detail, but they would know their craft and their characters by heart. So it gets to a point that on the tip of your fingers like exactly where everything's going to go, so you can get through it a lot faster.
I imagine you learn how to cut corners too, to where you're getting just enough of the illustration to get it across and have it look good, but you're not putting in like more detail than you need to.
Yeah, exactly, because there'll be way more silhouettes and less cityscapes on books that you have to finish in a hurry, so
right.
And I didn't want to take any shortcuts, at least especially with the first book, because it's the first one. Like, if people don't like this one, they're not going to go to number 2. Whereas if you have a bad number 2, maybe your 1 will carry you over the bad one to number 3 or something,
You're having a bad number 2?
No, it's going to be the best number 2, and it's going to be the actions coming in and the characters are going to meet. It's going to be fantastic.
I was going to say, having a bad number 2, that sounds rather unpleasant.
Oh, no. That's the worst that could ever happen to somebody, I think. Oh, man.
Yeah, don't go to Taco Bell or Chipotle. That's a real bad number 2.
So how did you plan a sequel to your first novel from the get-go? Or when did the sequel come into mind?
Here's the thing. And this is important because, like, I said it last week. I was on the final pass. Like, this is me, like, basically saying, I'm done with this chapter. Okay, done. No more changes. Done. So when I was writing the sequel, here's the weird thing, and this tells you how chaotic my process can be sometimes. I had a completely different draft outlined right before I released my first book. Then I kind of sort of scrapped at least half of it when it actually came to me trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my second book. Because it's like certain details changed around, but the biggest thing was there's one event I've always wanted to have in the series, and I'm like, this is a big thing. This is only book 2. I'm like, it feels like it's just a little too soon. That's what it kept feeling like to me. I'm like, it feels like something needs to happen before this to lead up to it. And that kind of ended up becoming the premise for book 2. But here's the thing. I don't want it to feel like padding either. Like, it needs to feel significant.
Like, what's better than selling 2 books? Selling 3 books.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's where I ultimately say the book I'm about to release it's a darker story than the first. It could be darker. I actually toned it down a bit. The reasoning behind it is I love the Spider-Man 2 principle where it's like you have a hero who kind of struggled their way to where they are, but now you're really putting them through the ringer to see how they act under pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for me, that's what, like, I love that whenever that happens in a book or a movie where it's like their back is against the wall and they've got to make a tough decision and there may not even be a right decision. What do they do?
I mean, the sequel is, especially in a trilogy, like the second part is usually the most exciting part, right? It's you're out of the intro, the characters are out of their safe space, and they're starting to get into trouble.
Well, it's weird for me because that was kind of one of the talking points of my first book was they kind of became heroes by being thrown out of their element. But the idea I'm kind of bringing home with the second book is, what if we turn that dial up to its logical limit? How do they react? And I don't want it to feel unnatural too. I want it to make sense.
Mm-hmm, right.
It's like you became heroes because of this you're fighting against. What happens when the heat is really turned up and you actually got to face it head on? And the irony of that is I didn't want to have power creep happening immediately or anything like that. So whereas the first book has like battles and everything like that, like there's still action, but the actual scale of the second book is zoomed in a lot more. Like most of the book takes place in a single city. Okay. And I mainly because I want it to be a more personal story too. Like if you really want to test your characters, you really got to get into their heads of how they act and how they're reacting. So,
yeah, because you need the interior conflicts running in parallel with the exterior conflicts, I would imagine, right?
Right. So, yeah. The funny part about the second book is my schedule for getting it done, for being finished with it, seems to line up almost perfectly with Neutron Boar getting the art done. Because he just finished the second to last illustration today. And I'm like, hey, funny thing. I'm like on the very final pass and I'm like a quarter of the way through it. I'm going through it fast. We could probably get this done at like the exact same time.
And I finished the inks this week. I'm going to scan them tonight.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or tomorrow at the latest, yeah.
I'm trying to avoid like bragging or anything like that because ultimately I'm not going to know what people think about it until it's released. This is like an actual thing that Neutron Boar told me that like does give me a lot of hope though, is he's told me this a couple of times. He's like, I don't know, Otter. There's something about this book. It feels like there's a magnetism to it. And that's kind of keeping me around it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that as a very good sign.
Oh, that's good, man. Especially if you can keep your artists. It's beautiful to have like a consistency when you pair artwork and a story. Neutron Boar is such a good artist as well.
Well, there was one illustration the illustration that he just finished for me, and I think that's what led him to telling me that, because I'm like, here's the tone for this illustration. He's like, oh, this actually threw me off. I've never drawn anything like this before. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you hadn't. Oh, okay. So that's interesting. Unfortunately, I can't show the illustration because it actually contains spoilers.
Was it a gay scene?
No.
Yes.
It really wasn't.
And it was a random self-insert character called Sir Otterton.
Sir Otterton. Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be cool.
Sir Otterton of Gay Forest.
I'm gonna have to dive into your first book before I get into the second. I want to read both.
Yeah, I just had a couple new readers go through my first book lately, and they were telling me they really enjoyed it. Now I was like, hey, thanks guys. Like, and I think they're accounts that have been following me for quite some time now. So I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you guys actually enjoyed it, because I don't know if you guys feel this way with your own creations. Like when I'm done with the story, like in the moment I may think it's good or anything like that, but once I'm done with it, I'm like, somewhere in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, it's a piece of garbage compared to what I could do.
Yeah, you can always, and that's pushing yourself as an artist as well. Like, because, like, I feel like it's something that's parallel to what the point you're making is. People sometimes ask, like, so it's going to get easier with the second and third one, right? Because not if you're doing it right. Because if you're doing it right as an artist, you're going to be pushing yourself to the max with each time. So each book is as hard as the first one. just because if you're pushing yourself, right? If you're not just like, okay, now I know how to tell the story. I'm going to use the same formula. Like, there's a lot of romance books are kind of like done by formula, right? Because there's a lot of buyers for it. And
it's weird because this book has been both easier and harder to write than my last book. Easier because I have a process in place, and that makes things a hell of a lot easier. Just having a solid process that you can rely on. You don't have to second guess yourself quite as much. Just because you're like, oh, I can fix it next time around or something like that. And that actually does carry you a long way. It's like, even if this sounds a little rough, you can fix it the next go around or something like that. And you've got a set amount of times you can do that. So it's not too bad. The tough part about this book is, since I made it a darker story, and keep in mind, I'm basing this off of stories like Vagabond, Vinland Saga, even little bits of Berserk here and there, though not nearly to the same extent. Like, balancing those more like adult elements and having it feel natural, not have it feel exploitative, that's a balancing act. And it's a surprisingly tough thing to balance. Like, even when you think you have it balanced, there's at least going to be one or two people who say, you need to tweak this just so it actually feels like it's real people doing this. It's like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, one thing I've learned is having a lot of eyes on it is key. Key, because so many comics I see out there, they go to the mainstream, they go to the printer, and they've got like major flaws. I'm not talking minor flaws. We're talking, and some of them are really easy to fix. So,
well,
it's so super important to get eyes on it.
Here's one thing I hate, and this is one thing I really wanted to avoid. It feels like a lot of writing, a lot of storytelling is a tale of two extremes, where on one side you have these authors who just want to write nothing but really like hope write stories, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. But it sometimes it can feel too sappy, like to the point where there's no real stakes. It'd be like, oh well, they weren't in any real danger anyway, or anything like that. It's like, why do I need to care if they were never really in any danger? Yeah. On the flip side, you'll have like the super grimdark stuff where it's like, oh, it's like it doesn't ask itself, oh, we're going to have some adult themes, but we're going to balance it. It's like, no, it's got to start off with like a graphic rape scene or something like that for dramatic effect. And it's like, no, like a lot of grimdark writers make that mistake. And I'm like, guys, reel it the fuck back in,
Ease into it. You can get to something like that in the right place in the story, but it's got to be earned by the plot, right?
Like, not saying a scene like that, like a horrific scene like that, can't work, because it can. But it's like, a lot of writers use stuff like that for shock value. And I'm like, here's the thing. If you don't care about the characters, it's not going to matter. If you haven't set things up properly, it's not going to matter. Also, that's not the only way to depict a dark world. Far from it, in fact. It's like, there's several things you can do to depict a dark world. Like, hell, I've been reading through some of the Witcher saga over the last few weeks. I've been listening to the audiobooks, and I'm like, that's a very, like, you could argue that's almost like a grim dark world in a way. But it's like, think about how much it actually breaches into those subjects. It's only certain stories that do it. A lot of it, even then, it still has a good amount of variety. It's like, oh, this one is like super grimdark. This one is more whimsical with fairy tales. Oh, this one's erotic with like Yennefer and everything. This one is basically just a drinking game over here. It's like, even then, it's still having variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get into more episodic stuff. Short episodic.
I will actually recommend the first couple Witcher books, believe it or not. They're mostly short stories, and for the most part, Sapkowski does a good job with them.
I have to check out a few then, because I've been starting to write a lot of episodic stuff.
I'm
Short
trying-
stories around 2,000, 3,000 words.
Yeah, I
I'm
love
trying to
the
think what my favorite.
episodic
story.
stuff too with hooks. Like I got some of the feedback I got off of what was gonna go Noster, right? Some person responded to the request I had for beta readers, and she was reading to it, and like she had a legit like anger statement, like what at the end, right? Because there's spoilers at the end. There's a big hook, like with the low battery message at the very final panel. And she was like, "Oh, how can you do this at the end?" And so I'm like, "Okay, like the hook works. Like the people are engaged emotionally by that point, and it's a good feeling to see that people respond where they're supposed to respond, right? Because that's what you're looking for too, with your beta readers. Is like, okay, is this scene getting the reaction I'm looking for, right?
I'll even say this. Even if some of your readers are angry at you, that's still a better response than if they're bored out of their minds.
Yeah, no, it was a good kind of anger, like, oh, you're leaving me on the, on this, what's the term? Hanging ledge. Cliffhanger. Thank you.
Well, speaking of cliffhangers,
We're about that time.
It's about that time.
So
James,
hold on. Before no,
dirty bitch.
We got a whole ritual here, and I want to say something because our guest couldn't make it tonight. But I'll get back to him and see if we can make it happen some other time. He had some unfortunate babysitting
Sounds
issues.
really dirty.
Yeah, well, babysitting issues are very dirty, you know that. And before we get into it, let's get into the shill time.
Hold up. Before you play that,
Yes.
here's to our guest who couldn't make it.
I hope you choke on a motherfucking cheese stick, you nasty, greasy bitch. You look like you drink white Gatorade and smell like nickels. Fuck you.
Oh, this just
Oh,
in.
hold up.
He's not
We got
coming
one
in.
more clip to play. We forgot. We didn't play it the whole fucking day, and we have to play it. Hold up.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Now you
Thank
Yeah.
you, Sabrina.
Like Kahuna says, that was way too fast. I think
Well, I was
he's.
referring to the Hitler.
Oh, okay.
He figured out what the painter was immediately.
Am I the only one? But every time I see a Sabrina clip, like my blood pressure goes down, and I feel much more relaxed for.
My blood pressure goes up.
My
All
blood
right.
pressure goes to a different place.
Ooh.
Convoy, 12 o'clock, on my command! Deploy! Okay, now. Little off course here. Holy mommy fucking shit!
Oh, there they are. Look at these gorgeous sons of bitches.
I'm so surprised we never get hit with copyright strike with the song.
Listen, as long as they let us use it, we'll use it.
Anyways,
I found a
James!
hillbilly version of that too.
Why don't you start us up, James?
All right. Yes. Today, for my premium subscribers, I released the second episode of my short story series titled The Villain. And every single episode, because obviously now that they're episodes, I realize, holy shit, sometimes people are going to read these without reading the one before, has a little last time on that I'm adding on as well for readers to enjoy.
Previously on a
yes.
Yeah, I've got to add that to my comics too. That's going to be cool.
Yes, it's very fun writing it. And I really enjoyed this story. It delves deep into the politics of the cyberpunk city as you get the viewpoint from a villain. The whole story is essentially this: the 27 city strong Whitlow nation sees their very first villain in over a decade. All villains were pretty much murdered off by mercenaries, essentially turned into government-sponsored heroes. And now they pretty much just kind of rule with an iron fist. And now this villain has emerged and is picking them off one by one. So you can go ahead, read the first one that was released last week for everyone to enjoy. And next week I will release, or actually no, on the 1st, I will release the second installment for everyone to enjoy. But right now, Wrangler, you can enjoy that because you're one of my premium subscribers. So everyone check it.
I listened to it at work today.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Sounded like some chaos happening.
Well, did you like it? We're trying to sell here.
Yeah, now you're making me think when I was unprepared to think.
I'll have to write that one down for later.
Up to that moment, that was the best piece of shilling we've had on this show so far.
There you go. Thank you, Wrangler. We'll get back to you on that one.
Lord Otter.
Hi, I'm an otter. I write books. I also stream sometimes on YouTube. I'm planning on doing a little bit of both. I'm about done with my second book. Be sure to check it out if you like water weasels and fantasy and boobs. You may like it. Also, if you want to see me stream, I'm planning on getting into streaming soon. I'm actually thinking about getting back onto Twitch. It seems like we may, in fact, be doing a Baldur's Gate 3 stream here soon. So be on the lookout for either that or something similar.
Baldur's Gate 3 is on sale still.
A duo honor mode. Well, probably not honor mode, but the difficulty of honor mode.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
Should I get in on that? I can stream now from my Steam Deck, apparently. I just learned this over the weekend. Is this a multiplayer game?
It's Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
If your PC can run Baldur's Gate 3, you've got a decent enough internet connection. I believe so.
Yeah, it's on sale this week, and I think it works on the Steam Deck. I'll have to double check, but I think it does. But
yeah, they finally got crossplay on Baldur's Gate.
I'm just gonna let you. If you're gonna join us, Frederic, we are playing this on honor mode, so we're gonna be playing on the hardest difficulty. That throws a lot of bullshit at you. It's on different maps and
maybe it's too hardcore for me. Yeah.
Well, here's the trade-off. 5th edition is stupidly easy compared to other RPGs out there.
That's good to know.
Anyway.
So bullshit times a very easy TTRPG. We'll see where that goes, where it ends up landing up. But yeah, that's what I've got on the itinerary over the next couple of weeks. I'll give out updates on that here soon. So be on the lookout for both, because I know I keep saying this a lot. 99%, 100% done. Nearly here.
So close. Like sometimes it feels like you're at 99%, like half of the time.
That's the thing. I hate saying it more and more because it's like I actually legit think in my mind that I'm done. Then I'm like, hang on, I've got 2 or 3 things I still need to do. Oh shit, I'm not done at all.
Yeah,
it's that type of mentality where you think you're going to be there in limbo forever.
It's the same with drawing a lot of times. Yeah. And Wrangler from Frequency Studios.
Hey, you can find my books on Amazon, Haley's Star Bad Kitty and Bad Kitty Haley's World. You can also follow me over on Substack under Frequency Studios.
There you go. Billy Bobsack, what are you working on?
Bakari Sweat, you probably can't buy it anymore. There you go.
Sounds good. And as always, imakecomics.com. That'll forward you to Retell Comic, where you can see a little bit of the art on there and also follow the progress. I'm close to done. 6 pages to ink out. I just finished this one live on air. Like, I think it's done. It's feeling like 100% done, but you know how it is, Otter. I might find a little something and tweak it.
I've heard a couple authors say it this way, is that you get 80% of the way through with your project, your creation, your baby you've got, but it's that last 80% where you're spending most of your time.
That last 20%, yeah.
Yeah, the last 20%, not the last 80%.
Yeah, 100%.
I won't disagree.
I am 25% certain I am 100% correct on my assertions.
That sounds legit.
You know, 63.75% of all statistics are made up.
You just made that up, didn't you?
Maybe.
There's a 25% chance of that being true.
And we'll find out if it's true or not next week, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for our next episode of Proof of Comic.
The sun has gone to bed, and so must I. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, goodbye.
Hello, Bitcoiners. Thank you very much. Hello. It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you.